So we're going to look at a quick application problem with Pythagorean theorem. As we sort of talked about initially in introducing Pythagorean theorem, we can use this idea to figure out the distance between sort of two locations, especially if we can calculate two sort of a horizontal and a vertical distance that sort of put together form a right angle. So in this particular case, let's imagine you're sitting here at a bus stop and you want to get to the grocery store way up here. If I was a bird, I could fly directly to the grocery store. But in being a person, we'd have to instead sort of walk along these streets here. And I'd go to the right 3 blocks and then sort of north 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, and I'd reach the grocery store. Now, what if we were asked to sort of calculate the distance between the direct distance between the bus stop and the grocery store? I would then need to sort of use that horizontal, that east-west distance, and that north-south distance to calculate it. So in this particular map, we're sort of told that the space for each block going east-west is 1/4 mile. And so if we look here at the map, we have 3 blocks going east-west. And if each of those 3 blocks is 1/4 mile, 3 times 1/4 would tell me that that distance is 3/4 mile. So I'm going to sort of label that in my little diagram, 3/4. And then if I look at the other sort of path, the distance walked north, we said there were 4 blocks going north. But those blocks were 1/10 mile. So 4 times 1/10 would tell me that that distance was 4/10 or 2/5 mile. And in knowing the horizontal and vertical distance, we can calculate that diagonal, that direct distance between the 2 points. And that's where we'd use our Pythagorean theorem. So we'd have 3/4 squared plus 2/5 squared equal the distance I'm looking for squared. And this is where we'd want to go find our calculator and sort of plug in our values, and we would get 9/16 plus 4/25 which is 289/400. But that's equal to d squared, and we want just d, so if we sort of undo the squaring by taking the square root of that value, we would find out that that distance is equal to 17/20, or, as some of us prefer decimals, 0.85 miles. So not nearly as far as it seems when you just look at the picture. And this is an example of how we can use Pythagorean theorem to estimate or find the distance between 2 points.